basically, the Washington Post published a photo last week of Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, famous guy, likes the camera, you know him, standing with a mob when he was a teenager in Arkansas in the 50s. In Arkansas, I didn't even realize he was like from Little Rock. Like, I mean, this is ground zero of the civil rights. I mean, there are a few very notable areas where the civil rights movement had historic struggles, but Little Rock is certainly one of the top ones that you think of. And you can see this photo here. Bradley's putting it up. On the first day of classes, Jerry Jones, as a teen, there he is, circled. One of the bullies trying to stop his black classmates from integrating in his school. And there were 6 black students attempting to desegregate North Little Rock High. And there's no, evidence that about what he did, except for the fact that he attended. And let's hear from him, because he is going with this story that he didn't know what was going on. He was just there out of curiosity. And that would be a lot more believable if Jerry Jones didn't have a history of racially insensitive comments, say, about, I don't know, calling Kaepernick's now, like, incredibly vindicated, justified peaceful protest against police brutality, among many other things, his relationship with Donald Trump being another one of them. The fact that he donated money to his inaugural campaign as well. But putting all that aside, his explanation here is also idiotic because he tries to essentially say that he was just, an innocent bystander, curiously checking out what was going on. If you were a high school student and there were 6 black kids coming into your school and you were in an entirely segregated school at that point, you'd know what was going on. It was pretty massive national news, let alone gossip in, like, the lunchroom. Here's Jerry Jones answering questions about this from reporters.
Yeah, that was, 65 years ago, and a curious kid. I didn't know at the time the monumental event, really, that was going on, and I'm sure glad that we're a long way from that. I am, and we just. That would remind me just continue to do everything we can to not have those kinds of things happen.
Any regrets of just being in the photo, being there at all?
What?
Any regrets on being in the photo, being there at all?
Well, I wouldn't have just dug that up for
Right,
sure.
right.
I mean, seriously. But that was curiously. I got criticized because I was more interested in how I was going to be punished by my coaches and everybody for being out front, but nobody there had any idea, frankly, what was going to take place. We didn't have all the last 70 years of reference and all the things that were going, and so you didn't have a reference point there. Still, I've got a habit of sticking his nose in the right place at the wrong time.
Did you get in
Right
trouble
place.
with your coach for being there?
I sure did.
Right.
What was the punishment?
Well, I was a young sophomore trying to make the team. And,
Oh, folksy.
they kicked my ass.
Jerry, it came after the Little Rock situation.
I don't believe that either, by the way.
At Little Rock Central, though, right? That photo and that incident.
Excuse me?
That incident came after the situation at Little Rock Central.
Well, that was North Little Rock,
Right.
which was literally just 2 or 3 miles away.
Was it the same day as Little Rock Central, or it came a
As I
different day?
recall, it was certainly in proximity with it. Those were certainly the issues that were going on, but did not have the structure or it was not the event that the central thing was.
Jerry, do you understand the perception that people have of you standing there? Because that was not exactly a welcoming committee that day.
Yeah, I sure.
Yeah, he sure does. Again, this would be if he came out and spoke about his past experience with racism and said, I was wrong, I was ignorant. Hey, we all believe stupid things when we're 15. When I was 15, I think I was still flirting with the idea that I'm a social liberal and fiscal conservative. Like, I think that's stuff I was saying to some of my friends in order to not seem so radical, right? And I would not have attended that kind of protest, but look, I was already beginning to flirt with leftist politics at that point. Jerry, maybe he came to it later in life. But the problem is not that he had this one incident. It's one that he's never addressed it. He could have addressed it then and said and been honest about it, which my sense is that he was not. And the reason that's my sense is because of the second point, that this is incredibly consistent with Jerry Jones throughout his life and his public life and what we know of him.
Also, just like on a broader note, rich people are liars. And they just lie like they drink water. And when something is not either logistically, politically, personally convenient, they'll just lie and just use the unseemly amount of money and charisma that they may or may not have just to literally lie.
And Jerry has charisma. That's the thing about him too. Is like he is a rich guy that has a very good understanding of how to get the media on his side.
It's probably the defining characteristic of our time is just rich assholes lying through their teeth with impunity.
Yeah.
So I don't see why Jerry Jones at this stage in his life and his career thinks this would have any blowback on him. But it just goes to show you how this runs deep. And also, there is simply no way. I can't say this for certain, but I simply don't believe he didn't know what was going on. Yeah. Or that the throng of angry-looking white people surrounding the kids who were probably walking into the school at the same time. There's just no way for me to think that he did not know what was going on.
All right, here's a little story. I went to an all-girls school in high school, and we sometimes would have a swap with the boys' school, and there would be like 8 boys on campus.
Oh my God.
It was like the biggest deal ever. It was the biggest deal ever that they would be on campus. Everyone knew that they were on campus. Everyone wanted to get to talk to them. Everyone wanted to be able to have an interaction with them, see if they were cute, whatever. Like, if all of us from 9th grade to 12th grade knew when the 8 boys were coming on campus because of the school swap, pretty sure Jerry Jones knew that there were 6 students that were going to be integrated into their high school. Plus, it was a national news story where my, school swap was not necessarily that.